What is up, guys? I'm gonna probably start trying to do these every day. Just quick recap. I know I'll do the Twitter thread, but those are kind of difficult to follow through, especially with the type of trades that I'm taking. You're gonna find a big mix of whether some days it might be EMAs, some days it might be trend lines, other day it might be fibs. Right now, I've been finding that fibs have been working great, but they'll go in trends. I mean, sometimes there'll be months where fibs just aren't the thing and they're not working as well. But right now they're hot, so I'm riding with the fibs right now. I think I said 4 trades on Twitter, but I actually did take 5. The Netflix trade I just wanted to go through on video. Took 2 trades with Netflix, and this first one was just kind of complicated. It's kind of weird, and it was I don't know, wasn't exactly a good trade, but I scraped out of it. I was lucky that the cons were on my side. I was eyeing this. We had this old resistance, nice little zone right here. We had this breakout, break below in this opening candle, and this is just something I shouldn't be doing. I initially entered on this huge candle right here, and I was still leaning pretty bearish, and that was only because we had this. There was this 100 EMA, which I don't even know why I had it pulled up on my chart. This is why I didn't do the thread, because a really odd trade that I just shouldn't have been green on. Anyways, there's this 100 EMA that we were following, and it just happened to be up on my chart. And I got lucky because I noticed this, and I was like, oh, okay, we have this old support turn resistance right here. We have these EMAs lining up. This looks like a place to add more. I went ahead, add more, and then I went ahead and exited. I'll show you guys where I exited right here. I drew this fibs from this bottom wick of this lower candle, the top wick of that candle, and you can see I think I sold somewhere around this like a 359 support. 359, I'm just calling that support. It's a big psych level. Any of those hold numbers you're gonna find are gonna work well for support and resistance. So, anyways, that was the first trade. Kind of was bagged there for a little. It was down like 20%. Entered some more. I'm not a fan of averaging down, especially on an opening trade. It's not something I would advise. However, this was like one of those things. It just looked right. I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, that was the first trade. Second trade was a lot easier. This was a setup that I will look for every single morning. Just a nice break. You get a consolidation, and then you're looking for that like I'll call it on West Coast, so I'll call it a 7 a.m., 7:30 move. So you get that first like 30-minute chop, and then you get that big breakout, especially with the NVIDIA earnings. Market was all whack, and then SPY ended up finally making that move. So it was just a nice consolidation here at support. I'll pull up the 3-minute. I don't like making trades off the 3-minute, but you do get sometimes these nice clarification on the 3-minute, I'll say. So we had this trend line on the 3-minute. We were just making these lower lows, lower highs, which is letting me know we're getting ready for a move up. We had this perfect little bullish hammer here at 710. I entered, I think, at this candle, and you can see right at 730, those 730 algos turned on, and I left a lot on the table. These cons are in like 250%. I sold at 30%. The more I post these videos, the more you realize I tend to do that a lot because I'm a scalper. I don't like holding things for that long. I'm good with 30% and done. So I drew these fibs from here to here. And I sold somewhere in this range. It was on this pop on this hammer. I think it was at 363. I tend to go for these psych levels. So yeah, that was that trade. So started off the morning 2 for 2. Was feeling pretty good and gave back some gains on Tesla. This was just not a good trade. Take these off. I took this kind of off the 3-minute. We had this 3-minute trend line, I'll say. And you could see where we were rejecting. It started right here at the 6:30. We had another rejection right here at 8:30. And then at 9 o'clock, we had another rejection. We broke above. And I really like these setups where we have a trend line, we break above, and we start to kind of slope downwards. But we're still above the trend line. We printed a doji, and this was a really annoying trade because SPY and Apple were ripping. This is when Apple was breaking out of its 5-minute wedge, and Tesla just did not want to follow. So anyways, I entered right here, and you can see we ended up breaking below, and this was just I think it was just a dumb trend line is what I'll say. It was a clear, we are in the supply zone. We had this ugly candle right here, and that is kind of something that turned me off a little bit with this 5-minute candle. but it was a trade where I shouldn't have exited. And I'll show you why. We bounced right off 184, and for me, I got to be noticing these psych levels, and it was more just an emotional thing. I don't want to get back any more gains from Netflix, so I think I bottom ticked it, and that was a pretty annoying thing. I had these fibs drawn. Just I want to say it was from this candle. Yeah, from I usually when I'm doing a little scalp like this, I'll draw it from the closest trend to the highest trend. So um, this just bottom tick right here to this tick right here, we bounced right off and matched up right with 184 fibs, and then it exploded, and I kind of just watched that and never wanted to trade Tesla again. So that was an annoying trade. It was a stupid one. The trend line just wasn't that great, especially when I have a trend line and it's right into a demand or supply zone, depending on which way I'm taking it. That's not a setup that I want to take. So, yeah, that was Tesla. So, what do you do when you lose a trade? You revenge trade. That's always the best thing. I don't care who tells you differently. Those are the ones you're locked in on. Just kidding, kind of. Anyways, SPY. Um, where was this? Right here. We had this large inverse hammer. This 5 minute doesn't show it as well. I'm just showing this 5 minute to start because you can see this huge inverse hammer right here on this 5 minute 9:30 algos. Yeah, 7 algos, 7:30, so on and so on. 8:30. So we had this large inverse hammer. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, yeah, we just created another lower high. Give me a pop to short. So that is exactly what we got. I pulled up that 3 minute. I like to use the 5 minute and 3 minute in conjunction. And I went ahead and just drew a little fib from here to this. I just drew a fib on this candle, and I took that retracement. You can see right here, 414.3 was around the entry, and you can tell exactly where we rejected on this 3 minutes. Why I like using the 5 and 3 minute, because together you can get really clear support and resistance marks. If it's not clear in the 5 minute and you have a large wick, pull up that 3 minute or sometimes even the 1 minute to get a clear zone or line. So anyways, yeah, enter right at this wick, and my exit was also extremely clear. It was just this bottom wick right here, and the closest trend to this top wick. Boom. Bullish hammer right off this 413.5, 413.5 mark. So yeah, just traded that one literally just fib to fib. You can see we kind of retraced a little retrace. I did sell some on this wick, and then I sold the rest on here. This part right here, I definitely did not get the same percent gain. I think I sold here for around 14%, sold this for around, I want to say 10%, not quite exactly sure. However, it's just because of the theta kill. And I didn't get all my exit right here. As you can see, it was a quick wick off this fibs. But once we wicked off that quickly, I was prepared to sell it as soon as we touched it again. Last trade of the day was on BAC. I don't know why I exactly traded this. I was heading over to a friend's house to play 2K because I tweeted something about 2K, and then I got really in the mood for some 2K. I ended up losing 4 in a row in 2K. But however, I did win in a trade in BAC for no reason in particular. It's not that I had it on my watch list. I just saw a setup that I liked, I guess. Not really. We had this kind of trendline thingy going. I don't. Looking back on it, I don't know why I took it. We had these lower highs forming. Um, I think it was clear on the 3 minute, kind of. I guess. Yeah. Here we go. There's that trend line on the 3 minute. You can tell starts right here. Projection, rejection. Once we got up to here, I liked it. We had this little old resistance, turn support. Sorry, support, turn resistance, turn support. I entered on this candle at like 1050. My stop loss was probably going to be somewhere below 28, so I was leaving a little bit. It was a small position. It was just something to end the day on. And I don't know why we got such a large pop, but we got a massive pop right here. These cons went flying like 30% from 28.05 to 28.22 for BAC. That's a pretty big move. So I don't know. It was an interesting trade, and it worked out, so I was happy. So in total, I think it's 4 for 5. I was pretty happy with how the day went. This price action was so clean because I missed quite a bit of setups. I didn't trade this early 3 minute setup on SPY, which is beautiful. You see this right here. And that is for the morning, I was just too busy messing around with Netflix. and that's a perfect one right there. There's plenty more examples of different fibs that you could have executed on, but those are the trades that I made. I hope you guys are able to kind of get a gist, hope this summer, of and be able to pick up on the type of setups that I like. I know a lot of times I'm kind of vague with what I'm tweeting. However, hopefully the more I tweet, the more you'll be able to realize and pick up on them yourselves. Because once you're able to see them, it's hard to explain what you're seeing because you are. It's so repetitive to the fact that it's just, oh yeah, that's just a fib bounce, so that's just a fib rejection. There's a trend line there. Oh, that's not a trend line. So yeah, hopefully through these videos you'll be able to tell what exactly I'm looking for throughout the day and how I'm executing them. So I will catch you guys tomorrow.